are back, and if you missed this ringer of a game, you should be sad. It was insane action from start to finish. SKT's new lineup looks so crisp, so clean, and APK even put up a decent fight in the beginning, but then it all went the way of SKT.
It was just one of those games where we know a lot of our viewers are in NA, EU, at times where you wouldn't expect people to be watching esports very late at night or very early in the morning, depending on the region. And you definitely feel vindicated out this one. It was worth staying up to watch APK Prince versus SKT and SKT's big debut. I love all the personal stories, Mickey trying for the styling, the counter ganks though. The fact that SKT, so often, like 9 out of 10 times, SKT was one step ahead. And that is the part which, with this little amount of practice, remember, Faker was up at All-Star. Yes, the roster could have been practicing with Gori, the substitute mid laner, but it's a very, very different thing. With this little amount of practice, already you're like, damn, there's some flying V Mighty Duck stuff going on here with SKT and their debut. Faker's 17,000 damage. Guys, if you're joining into the KeSPA Cup today, Ezreal usually wins by about 10,000 damage over everyone else because he's quite broken at the moment. So 17,000 Lissandra damage lets you know that Faker had a day out.
He really did. Generally, it's Ezreal is most of the time double everybody else on the game and on the same team. Doesn't matter if they won or lost. We had a game where an Ezreal lost and was still massively ahead of everybody else. So Ezreal's broken. There's part of the reason why we did see that picked as the first AD carry after Lucian was banned. That's kind of the standard nowadays. And yeah, we're going to be getting into game number 2 in just a moment. Doesn't look like there were any roster swaps on either side. None of the 10 other players, the 10 subs total from both of the teams included coming in.
A lot of teams have taken the showcase approach of look at all our new, cool, shiny new players, but surprising to me, Haru doesn't get a game, right? This guy was at Worlds as a starter for Gen.G, and while he might want to forget that right now, it's a bit too close to the Worlds that Gen.G kind of stunk up the joint a bit. He's still a very strong player in his own, and he does fit the aggressive identity. It's not like the meta doesn't suit him. He could definitely be an aggressive jungler as well, but we will see the Clid configuration one more time. Cool story is, because SKT had such a poor summer season, they played from the first round, so we're going to see a lot of SKT over this tournament, so a lot of chances to maybe give an entire series to someone like Haru or Crazy in future matches. So we're going to stick with this one, sticking with this man, and probably will be the on-screen coach for the majority of the year for SKT in old Najin White Shield AD carry. Zephyr, one of the players that actually in that Worlds qualifier 2014 was one of the reasons that Najin Shield took out SK Telecom T1 and stopped them from making Worlds that time. Now he's back on the lineup. The second time it goes out, and we're back with another set of pick and ban.
We're back here, guys. SKT this time going to be on the blue side, so we should see some differences in the picks and the bans and how everything gets in. Where would the Ezreal priority be? Will the Cassiopeia make it through? All these questions and more to be answered.
If the Flex Assassins, the world smorgasbord of Aurelia, Aatrox, the champions like that are gone, I'm trying to think about what's the first pick, because there's been a lot of first picks that we kind of shake our head. Before we had Nico globally banned, we were like, not liking the Nico first pick. The Thresh seems like a reach as well, when things like Alistar are often up there. Ezreal's one where I feel like you could always consider it, especially if you have someone like Teddy, who made his name on other champions, the Sivers, the Fountain Laser, and of course some of his other players, but he had one of the best Ezreal games ever, a 27-minute game in, I believe it was the summer season, where he had an outrageous amount of damage done very early. It was a super hard carry performance. I forget which team it was against. Maybe someone can tweet it at me. And he can still just play the Ezreal that usually Bang was going to be the one picking up those shoes. So I think Ezreal first pick's a possibility. But there's a lot of stuff out there. Clid had to watch on as Xin Zhao did his thing early, but then had some nice moments with counter ganks on the Xin Zhao. And so far, we're going very much tier list. The tier list picks have been taken away.
It's kind of been the name of the game. I feel like the stronger the teams are in the game, the more you'll see the tier list picks, whereas with some lower level teams, maybe you just want to ban away the, their kind of one-trick champions, and we've been seeing a little bit of that earlier on in the KeSPA Cup as well. But as you mentioned, kind of going by the book here, there are a couple of things that are going to be left open. Notably, the Alistar is going to be banned this time, rather than APK having a chance to pick that on their first rotation.
That screams to me Mada Thresh first pick. That is why you would ban the Alistar. That's my first thought. Unless something else they really want is also there. So if it's tactical, or if they just want the Thresh, Thresh could be considered as a ban, but everything's on the board. The Cassiopeia or Thresh. Maybe that was the deal, we're not sure. And maybe they're shaking out further. Lucian, Thresh, those are ones you can consider. Lucian wasn't available in the previous game, would be taking over the Ezreal, and okay, now we know SKT's tier list. Doesn't matter if he's got a Samsung white skin for the Thresh and other teams are first picking it. Lucian still going to have that reputation as first pick for SKT.
Lucian just too good right now. Solo queue competitive, it seems like it's #1 by far. You just dominate a lane so hard that even if the enemy team does have that high damage Ezreal, you're going to get your turret pushed in first, and you're going to lose a lot as that Ezreal lane against the Lucian. So, does make sense to pick that up first. Another Xin Zhao game here for Kakao. They were happy with the way it went. He won the early game, I suppose, but then he stayed a little bit too often near the mid lane. Still looked good overall, I'd say.
We saw the hover on the Kled, an old Ixu favorite. Ursu now, of course. I wondered if Mickey could play that one. It'd be a kind of interesting little adaptation. He's also a Singed player of many repute, but you're not going to take Singed this early in the draft. No, no, no. You need that as counter pick into something later on. So just flashing some Ixu favorites, but setting on the Thresh. So the Thresh priority is up there. You talked about Secret's Alistair in the first series. Good Alistair as well, but Alistair taken away. So they're going to take a win. They're going to say, okay, feeling good about Thresh, not really worried about any Thresh answers that Mata could potentially pull out. So definitely a lot to like about the first round, a lot to love about Faker's Lissandra. And while it's kind of in the Galio realm, there is kind of that thought you have in your head right now of, does Faker only use Aftershock? Kind of becomes in your mind, because he was a Galio player all of 2018. It is still a playmaker that you can burst super hard on, especially if people line up and take those extra passive ghost damages as well. So the solo lanes, they're going to be very sturdy on the side of SKT.
Yeah, same thing. I mean, it worked in game #1. Why not just go for it once again? Kind of just going down the tier list so far is SKT. Good in terms of blind picks as well for what they have gone with here in those two solo lanes. So happy to pick those out here. They're going to hide the jungle and the support roles for now. What is APK going to pick up towards the end? Looks like we'll have Urgot Sion again.
Here's another request, because, you know, it's kind of a day of requests. It feels like we're in a giving mood. It is the season to be jolly. We are, of course, in that festive season. Kind of want to see Zed before I go to bed. Wouldn't it be awesome to see Mickey lock in his famous Zed? You laugh, you scoff, and yes, it's not an ideal matchup, but wouldn't it be an ideal matchup for the viewers if we could see Mickey? He was known when he debuted on Rebels Anarchy for two champions that he would win games on straight up. Twisted Fate and Zed. Those were his two champions that basically everyone realized this team cannot win if they can't get Mickey on one of his big picks. And that's kind of a lot of burden if nobody else can deal with the fact you're taking 3 bans, but that was the reality back then for the side of Rebels Anarchy. They, of course, are now the Afrika organization, and Mickey Long departed from that one. But it's just going to be the Sion, ostensibly for top. I don't think Sion mid fits the Mickey strategy too much, but he became an Orianna player against all expectation as his career went along. Looking at the bans so far, taking away some of Klid's fallback picks. If you're looking at what he's doing in solo rank, you're first initially going to say, damn, he's high elo, because he is top 10 right now, is Klid. The Lee Sin we know very, very well is going to be banned. The Kha'Zix that's become kind of the tournament jungler has been taken away again. If you look at Klid's most played, the Kha'Zix was the most played. The Elise, Nidalee, Gragas, Camille, Rek'Sai is with that. So we'll see if he goes to an old one like the Rek'Sai that he's mixed and matched at times, or if it is just another one, because we do know it's probably going to do damage, because damage jungle is what we're all about.
Yeah, you notice the Ezreal ban comes in here. That is a very worthy ban. I mean, if you're coming in here and this is your first time watching 824B, you might have watched game 1 and said, hey, that's pretty strong. Yeah, it is. After Lucian, that is the next strongest. Gonna be curious to see what they will feel comfortable picking into that bottom side. Banned the last time.
This guy loves his awesome dudes. Heimerdinger still hasn't won in Korea outside of Worlds, and we're getting the donger ostensibly in the bot lane. Shenanigans are definitely in full display on the side of APK, and now SKT. They need a support. Rakan was the choice for Mata, who went pretty damn deep under some turrets in game #1, so won't pass it up if we see it again. He's been hovering Pyke a lot, which would have been a fun one to see, given that Pyke in Korea has kind of been up and down. Nocturne was what I was kind of greedy for from Kakao, because of course he is the 2014 Nocturne of all time, and Klids are going to be farming on the Klid. It's a damage choice, but not one that fights pre-6, and maybe another window for APK to play around.
Yeah, definitely an interesting one. It is going to be the first Nocturne of KeSPA Cup on the new patch, so excited to see what they can mix in there. Play Rakan next time. Here's the Pyke. Mata going to be going very aggressive on this pick.
Been playing it in solo queue. I'm sure a lot of people have been flicking through the different SKT options when 10 players pop on their streams around 11:30 p.m. Korean Standard Time. I called for it, and this would be... this is surely what we're doing.
Way.
Fury got to play Heimerdinger. We're doing it. Mickey, you're so fine. Rock my mind and lock in that said. I want it so badly. Come on, you're doing it. He's going to do it.
Really?
Oh, we were so close. We were so close,
man.
We were so close.
What is that bait? Why is he doing that
He's
to
not
us?
listening to the English stream, and yet it couldn't have been any more perfect.
Oh, man. The timing of that, too, I was ready to scream, no way.
Well, I mean, he got to the 0. It's a nice little hover. I don't know if that was a Mickey or a secret thing, but you did it oh so well. LeBlanc is still a very possible matchup here, but the one that Lissandra can fight through. It's one that we saw at World Championship happen a couple of times. Still, APK, a new score. Their physical damage is in Zhao. That's probably going to fall away. So, yep, before that Nocturne ult, this ult, same now as game 1 comes in true. Expect to see Xin Zhao cutting through the mid lane, taking a couple of scuttles, because early game Feast of Famine is the story for APK Prince.
Can't wait to see how this one's going to go. I feel like you couldn't have gotten more aggressive than the last draft, but here we go again, this time with LeBlanc. And now Heimerdinger mixed into it. Definitely something interesting. You know, it was banned in the last time by SKT, even though the Lucian wasn't available, so it's not something specific against a Lucian or against Teddy. It's just something that they know that Fury would play, and that's why it was banned the first time, and well, lo and behold, he's playing it this time.
I'm just whacking away at this desk with my pen because Mickey doesn't get to play Faker again in LCK Spring 2019. Right now, on a Challengers team, these two kind of rivals, I guess it can kind of be one of those stories where it's rival on the one side and then Faker's just like, I just beat everyone. Yeah. But, you know, I would have loved to see it. We're going to be denied it unless we go to a game number 3. It's still the LeBlanc versus Lissandra, and Faker's Lissandra we can't complain about. It's still KeSPA Cup. It's still SKT's great debut, and let's let it roll along.
So it looks like we should be hopping into an interview right about now. So let's see what the APK Prince coach does have to say about this matchup.
APK 프린스의 사석찬 코치님과 얘기 나눠보겠습니다. 코치님 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
자, 챌린저스 승강전을 막 치른 팀이라고는 믿을 수 없을 정도로 좋은 모습 보여주고 있고요. 또 선수들의 라인업 역시 화려합니다. 하지만 이 팀 이름 자체가 다소 생소할 수 있는 시청자분들을 위해서
just came from the promotions of Challenger. Still showing a good performance over there, but some people might not be familiar with some of the names you got on your team. Or your team name in general. We are APK Prince, and we just requalified for Challenger Korea. So we're proud about that.
존재감 있었던 선수들을 다시 모였다는 것만으로도 팬들이 굉장히 기대하고 있는데요. 또 선수들의 개개인의 개성이 워낙 강하다 보니까
some of the players on this lineup have shown great performances in the LCK in the past. And a lot of those players have very strong personalities. And great careers, veterans of League of Legends. Have you had any difficulties bringing all these players together with their strong personalities? So they all have good personalities, actually. Even though they lost the first match, they all discussed what went wrong and you know, how to improve and what to do next time. So very aggressive lineup. Very active team. Coach says, as long as we reduce our mistakes, we can show better games. So any feedback? Well, yeah, I just told them not to make too many mistakes and just show off your skill. We've seen that before. We've heard that before from some of these challenger teams. Because, you know, it doesn't end here with KeSPA Cup. Some of these players could still be traded or talked about. You know, you always want to show off your best brand. And so it's a good advice, you know, don't make too many mistakes. Try to limit your mistakes and just play your game, basically.
And we've heard that advice for some of these other teams. Remember, we saw Reverse Gaming yesterday that sadly sounds like they've effectively disbanded after being eliminated from the KeSPA Cup.
Yeah.
When it comes to APK Prince, it's sort of the same advice but different. That was, okay, you guys are nervous. Just try and play your game, you know, show your best foot forward. These guys already were trying that in game number 1. There's plenty of brashness about Mickey and friends on the side of APK Prince, but it's very much a similar advice of just throw it out there. You know, correct anything you can from game number 1 and focus on just putting it together, because there were some good patches for APK Prince against what ended up being a pretty standard SKT victory by the end, and recreate those and maybe diversify KeSPA's attention away from just, can we kill Faker? Maybe that's the way to go.
Yeah, so guys, the game is ready. Looks like we're ready to jump into game number 2 of SKT versus APK Prince. Here we go, game number 2 of this best of 3. The winner of this best of 3 will make it into the round of 8, where a lot of other strong teams here from the KeSPA Cup will be waiting for these 2 teams. And already setting up the turrets in the bottom side is Fury on the bottom lane, Heimerdinger.
It's all about the 2v2 contest to try to get down these turrets, because of course once you put them down level 1 and then have the cooldowns available in the mana back as the laning phase goes. So very active level 1 when Heimerdinger's there, because both teams have a very clear plan of, can we get the most out of Heimerdinger's oppressive level 1, or can we just shut him down and put him behind? So already something to talk about. It's also a Nocturne jungle who wants to power clear and not be counter-ganked or invaded by the enemy. Teddy walks in, and look at this. He's going to get exactly what he wanted. Gets all 3, of course, has the passive double tap from the standard W level 1 on that Ardent Blaze. So early advantage SK Telecom T1. Music to the ears of the many SKT fans out there.
Yeah, also interesting to see his summoners. Doesn't bring anything like a heal or anything like that on the loose. Just goes for the teleport. Had it on the Ezreal. It's a little bit more standard on the Ezreal, but that's just his style,
Faker's just gatekeeping him out of lane. Can pop a potion charge early to get the extra damage. Mickey's going to be under half health before he even gets to a minion.
And that's just auto attacks against LeBlanc, who should be pretty strong early on, but not so much at level 1. So already off to a good start here is Faker. He looks so happy, so content, I would say, in game number 1, even in just his play, but also on his face after the game. Seems like he feels comfortable with his new team.
And look, I think a lot of people read a lot into the Faker situation. They talk about things like, you know, what the burdens he had playing Galio, trying to cover for weaknesses, both at Worlds last year and, of course, 2018, the struggles they had. He definitely has full faith in the comrades around him. I don't know if he had a voice in it, but he now has the aces of other teams, as he mentioned in an InVen article, an interview recently, Cal, doing it, as I mentioned, the same double scuttle if you can get away with it. So you definitely play with less burden when you have Mata and friends around you, and with Mata, Teddy, Clid, and Khan, that is a 5-man roster where Faker knows if he's doing his job, there's plenty of other people who are going to make something out of that.
It just removes so much of that pressure you were mentioning. He's able to play kind of that old style, the ultra-dominant mid laner, and we're already seeing it here in this game.
Ultra-dominating Lissandra.
Yeah.
And, you know, people look at this matchup and they're like, oh, yeah, of course, it's a counter matchup for LeBlanc. That's not actually strictly true. I think LeBlanc wins this matchup pretty hard pre-6, because a lot of the Aftershock Lissandra value was, well, you won't die, I guess. You got the self-ult and the Aftershock tankiness. You're not supposed to actually have a health advantage at every moment, but that's what we're seeing from Faker against an electrocute laner, because from outplaying Mickey super hard at level 1, he's got the lane control even before things are supposed to go his way. So, yeah, it's not necessarily panic stations, but it's not necessarily a great spot for Mickey.
Yeah, it all comes down to that early level 1 before the minions even crash, as you were mentioning. You know, you think about that versus a melee laner, it just puts you so far ahead. But even against any kind of champion, if you can get that kind of lead where you chip them down to half health, you're just going to win, especially because that kind of low cooldown Q that Lissandra does have allows her to win some trades against some certain champions, especially if Mickey wasn't able to do his combo, which he wasn't, based on that current situation. So
going to be spotted, I believe, by this River Vision, and Khan was already getting the hell out of there.
Yeah. You were talking about the pressure that Faker was feeling. He doesn't even have to be the carry anymore. There's so many other people on his team that can carry. Each member of this team has carried an entire team by themselves at some point in the past, and that's just music to his ears.
And you know, there's a very real chance that we check in at the end of spring as Mata walks up, just kind of create a bit of zoning here on the Heimerdinger, and see the most played Faker is Faker himself. Almost solo kills Mickey.
Going in there, that was pretty close. Mickey gonna have to chug those potions.
His most played might be 2 Aftershock champions. It might be Galio, goes wide, and Lissandra. But both those champions, Valdez, as we talked about in Galio and Lissandra games, burst harder than before. So they're damage dealers and setup champions, quarterbacks, if you will, on the Rift as we zoom in here. So the fact that his kind of effective champion pool of the last year is now probably better for the scenario he's in is pretty damn good news for Faker.
Looks like he's taking Demolish here as well.
Yeah, why wouldn't you? He's got the result
damage in there. Here comes Kakao. But again, it's Lissandra trying to get that knockup. It's not going to happen.
Xin Zhao can do nothing to Lissandra if her E is up because there's no way to actually finish the stun because the 3 auto is going to be way slower than the Glacial Path. So it's kind of comical. Ends up being a mana trade and a cooldown trade, if anything. Klid is all alone.
He is. He can spell shield the stun, though. So fortunately for him, that was coordinated. They had a ward deep in the enemy red side jungle.
Secret. Being shadowed by Mata. Both supports say, how do you do?
These guys have been shadowing each other the entire time here of this series, Mata and Secret. At least Secret trying to catch up to Mata. Mata has definitely been kind of first to the party at most times
Cannon.
around.
Oh, you hate to see it. Cannon was not killed by the chain there. Sad times for Mickey, who's, as you can see, feeling the punishment. He's lost 3 minion waves already.
He's going back home. It's pushing into him as well, and he doesn't have teleport on this LeBlanc. It's just a disaster for him so far. So what happens when Faker's feeling good and he comes in, he demolishes you in the beginning. I mean, it is Lissandra up against the Irelia. But this time around, Mickey had his choice. What he could have gone for, decided on LeBlanc, and it hasn't been looking good.
The closest thing to a professional victory for a Heimerdinger in a game in Korea, outside of the World Championships, of course, but in this Korea versus Korea competition, was the famous Jungle Heimerdinger game 6 years ago in NLB Promotions. Again, not technically a pro game, but of course qualified at the time GSG for a pro tournament. We still have never had a victory in Champions or LCK for the Heimerdinger. Fury trying to get something going here, and while he can lane very easily against the Lucian, I'd actually love to see just a locked-on stream of Teddy versus Fury to see how you lane his Lucian against Heimerdinger, given Heimerdinger caused so many teams so much trouble against G2 at Worlds, but Heimerdinger's not growing anything, and the roams aren't impacting the map, unfortunately, for Secret, so the end result is, right now, the CS parity for the Lucian.
You notice fantastic vision on the right side, spots Mickey all the way. Mickey thinking about getting some deeper vision, but even perhaps about a roam to the bottom side because Teddy and Mata beginning to push back, but he's spotted all the way, and you can't really roam very effectively with only 2 Dark Seals and boots. 35 CS up against 63 right now. It's 7.5 minutes for Mickey. He's got to do something. Will Klid do something up there? He's level 6. Thinking about it right now, there's the flash, the flip over the back, and no charge away here for Ixu. No flash as well, and as easy as you'd like, first blood in the top lane.
And you forget the Khan was, of course, the MVP of the summer season on a King's Zone lineup that didn't end up achieving anything. In the mid lane, Mickey trading his health here. Can they get Faker?
Oh, he was locked down there. He's going to be able to ult, but Faker, can he flash away from this one? He's trying to trade. No, it's not going to happen this time around, as finally they have the chain stun to stop his Glacial Path.
Successful ganks on both sides, but look at how many checkpoints SKT are getting in the top. Ixu doesn't have teleport or ultimate, so he can't even get there fast. He's going to lose at minimum 3 checkpoints, and that is what means advantage SKT in that cross-map action.
It's got to feel good for Mickey at least that he can kind of catch up, but definitely good feels as a team here for SKT. Kakao going to respond.
Oh, the 4th checkpoint was taken in 1 push. Mountain Drake is nice, but the immediate gold investment into the Warrior Enchant and then some is going to be pretty happy news for especially Klid on SKT.
At least this is spotted down here by Mata. Gonna just put the control ward down. Not gonna be bothered to be taken away. Here's Secret in the mid lane trying to get on top of Faker. Will there be a stun this time around?
Follow?
Mickey able to get on in there, and Faker in a lot of trouble this time once again is gonna go down.
And that's the first time Mickey this game especially can nod his head and say, all right, that went how I intended it to. Nicely played there, followed the chain in a great way. We're tracking down to the bot lanes. Of course, the sports are here. Why wouldn't they be here? They're never here at all. Heimerdinger will continue farming. Xin Zhao backs away. First good news moment without an asterisk for APK Prince.
Yeah, he began to realize why he was thinking about the LeBlanc pick into the Lissandra as well. You can follow up against the Glacial Path. You have a lot of mobility yourself, so if you get that burst combo and land a chain, even if the Lissandra does ult herself, it's only a small amount of health, and the second she comes back, your cooldowns are right there and you can burst her down again.
Sort of pressure that's expected in the lane from the LeBlanc side that we weren't expecting because of how the early game went. But with the roam, good timing from Secret, it would actually secure a kill that otherwise probably would have gone begging. So nice play overall by APK. Just like SKT, they are very much a new roster that only got together in the past few weeks. So we're seeing the early days of them, and it hasn't just been bad news from APK. They've, of course, with all this experience, had some good moments. This is some nice drifting, but not enough.
I mean, he's good at drifting, that's for sure. Secret, he might be in a bit of trouble here as the Thresh getting burst down by that Lucian. And there is the Pike in the backside. Mata able to secure that kill. Can he get away, though? No is the answer, but here's Clid as that one. But he gets the stun down, but it's not going to be enough. As Clid able to follow up with that rip buff, picks up the kill.
Answering kill comes from Fear, but only a single, and he was very late on using the ultimate. It almost seemed like he was trapped between a couple of different ideas. Mickey in the mid lane actually gets the chain, but not enough damage with the Aftershock.
This time around, KeSPA not able to get there on time.
Look who's here.
That one, here's Khan. He's going to be able to burst this guy down. Has exhaust as well. In goes Baker. Doesn't need the damage, just the stun. Baker gets low, but it's not enough to fear. Not close enough. Khan, he's still going for it. Not going to continue on that one, though. Mata thinking about it, but that's going to be the end of the action in the mid lane.
Some really good proactive accuracy on the skill shots there. Almost means a double kill, an unlikely one after the Fear Beyond Death did not arm the Fear onto the secondary side. We're going to watch the replay here. Secret blows everything, including his stasis, just to buy space. But surely you have to give him something to work with there. You put down the Mega Turret, and at least they can't just walk and kill him where he stands. Decided to go for the rocket play, which seemed opportunistic, and yes, got one answering kill. The Clid rolls in, there's no stopwatch to stop this kill coming in, and SKT continue to trade up.
Well, he's got the stopwatch now that you mentioned it. Fury able to get that into his thing, but now Mata thinking about another chance here. Let's see how Mata has been. I love this dynamic in the bot lane too, where Teddy is like this new rookie who's coming in, so much potential. Mata, the grizzled veteran, who's kind of the brains of the team, who's kind of leading him in the bottom lane as well, just directing this young gun and his awesome mechanics to a new level of strength.
And I think a lot of people look at it that way, and on the simple level you say, yeah, to some degree it's true, just if you compare length of career, but Teddy is no rookie. I feel like that is just too over the line. This guy's played 4 full splits, 2 KeSPA Cups. It's his 3rd KeSPA Cup that he's playing now. He hasn't achieved what he's looked for. So when it comes to final success, he's definitely a playoffs rookie, right? He's only played playoffs, I believe, once, maybe 6th place, so maybe no playoffs games for him. He's really going to come in and level up his game, but now he has high expectations. I don't think anyone's going to say, oh, a couple of bad, patchy games, he's still learning. This guy has been brought in to be the new Bang, and he could go in with a bang as Teddy tries to make something of this hole.
Clid not giving up on this bot lane. Will the Heimerdinger put out the damage? Sion knew this coming a long time ago. Gets the burst damage onto Clid. Teddy on the run. And Mata just trying to run himself with his own ultimate. Uses the stopwatch, but it's not enough. Look at all the members of APK in the bottom side. Looks like they were able to read that play well.
Ursu especially was ahead of the play and then some. Who's to say if he was going proactive or if he was there completely reactively? Either way, it certainly came together, and you love it when a plan comes together like that. Can they get any turret damage? Answer right now looks like no, as Khan is just there to wave clear in the face of the Heimerdinger and the Sion. We back away, we judge it based on the objectives, but if you just want to purely talk about kills, it started off with a nice story, but ended up just being a big bait as Ixu, now Ursu, rolls in as the Sion, and they answer the kill onto Clid very quick.
See, Ixu, he still has got those mechanics. He was always a very strong player, able to show it here once again on the Sion. Mata, nice dodge there. We're starting up again. There's never-ending action in this game. Trying to get to the backside against Secret, but KeSPA able to take down the other support. And look at this. Finally, Faker winning some 1v1s in the mid lane up against Mickey, able to zone him out.
It's just team deathmatch. Oh, maybe it's multiple solo match. I think it's 2 solos and a duo on the top. Everyone brawling on the rift. This is the meta. We expected brawl and then take your objective. You don't got no wards anymore. You got kills and you got item advantages, and both teams in different spots have them in different ways. Overall, we can zoom out and say 3,500 gold in SKT, somewhat in control, but whenever you look directly on the screen and look away from all the other bars, it feels competitive wherever we look.
See, Mata's got the fancy feet on, but it's hard to get away from Xin Zhao if you have no escape as the Pike Here's Mata once again. Can Faker bait him in? Here's Kakao and Klid going one up against each other. Faker kind of out of mana here. Doesn't look like he's able to ult. Doesn't have it available, actually. There's the pull in, and Khan in a lot of danger now. For the ultimate on Kakao, but he's not able to get it. The burst damage here from LeBlanc, and the Scion is able to shut down that Urgon.
And this time, SKT, hands in the cookie jar, are taken down. Rift Herald could be picked up from this one as Fury, this wave clearing away from the Lucian. Teddy not been able to impact this game. It's been around the corners. Of course, Heimerdinger and Lucian, that's the thing. They're going from multiple directions here, but there are two members of SKT.
Secret flashes the wall. He wants desperately to kill Teddy. Do they have enough damage to follow up on this? There it is, not quite able to land as Teddy gets out of range.
I feel like Fury has used the empowered, ulted rockets more than we saw Hjarnan use it in the entire world.
Yeah.
He's a big fan of this. I feel like the tier list is definitely Grenade and the turret as 1 and 2, depending on the scenario. But these rockets aren't working out. Otherwise, we're farming. And SKT say, well, I don't know what happened earlier, but damn, we got an Inferno. We're going to watch the replay of how this all came together. We know that the teleports are up on the top laner, so we'll see which one was the first to come in. Faker and Mickey are just looking competitive, but the moment that Cow just flashes past Mata, Mata's out of position, can do nothing. And that's the big thing. Khan gets in, but Ursu's second, and yet things come together. Because the setup there just a bit cleaner. Still things to work on for SKT. They are not the flawless Worlds-winning team on their first showing. No surprise. 7 to 8 in terms of kills. Still overall Infernal and 4,000 gold is advantage SKT.
We didn't see it on camera, but Faker able to get the first blood turret up in the top side, so a nice chunk of gold to him. He's 0 and 3, but he's 50 CS ahead, 55 CS ahead of this LeBlanc right now, so not doing so bad in terms of his gold, as well as, you know, getting that first blood turret in this game.
What we can say is that if we see the Lissandra draw LeBlanc to top side, then she's going to win out. 50 CS advantage between the two, about equal in gold, I guess, if you include the kills and things like that. But slight gold lead to Faker, I would say, overall, given that not too many turrets are in there. But if the LeBlanc doesn't go there, Resolve Tree, Demolish, turrets go down. If he does go there, TP advantage. Because the laning phase went well, because there's a CS lead, there's no real good use of Mickey when it comes to dealing with Faker, and that means that Faker's likely to pick up chip advantages like outer turrets.
Working on that Zhonya's now, which we saw the play in game number 1, but if you've got a Zhonya's on top of that, you might even be able to just use your ultimate offensively and then Zhonya's just to stay alive, whereas in the earlier kill, or the earlier play in game number 1, he uses ultimate to survive and do a little bit of that chip damage alongside of the stun, but you talked about getting that passive up in the exploding frozen zombies. You can get that a little bit easier if you can secure a kill 100% with that aggressive ult.
It used to be the best use of Lissandra was sit in the control ward, one rotation, hopefully kill someone, and then you're kind of done, right? You queue a couple of minions, but it's not the most damage. Now, if you get the 5-man W like you saw Faker do in game number 1, the first rotation gets a kill, or 2 kills, let's say, then the ghosts come through, the allies get in there, and the ghosts do more. So the burst rotation is actually bigger if you're doing well, if you're team fighting, but the same in a skirmish, and that makes it balanced, but also the maximum you can get is big. And speaking of maximums, SKT do not want to give over a Rift Herald, and we see the Rift Herald wandering around at 3,000.
Here's Ixu gonna get into the backside, but the spike comes in from Kakao, and that means that APK able to get this here. Looks like they were a little bit closer, trying to get on top of this guy, LeBlanc, on the backside. The clone's not going to be able to stun them. They're gonna be able to set up Ursu here, and he's gonna be flipped over the back. One hook onto Mana. Doesn't look like they're able to get him in the back. One big Scion stun, but it will not be able to take anyone out. Ursu also going to pay for that one.
For more, here's the hook.
Okay, and now he doesn't have his ultimate. Mana going to pay for it with his life, but here come the zombies you were talking about, trying to get Secret. He's so low. One more Q from Khan, and Faker is going to take him out. Will it continue? Yes, he will. Flash forward, and there it is. Faker with the double kill to clean it all up.
Those are the zombies you have to fear. Lissandra's not done after her first round. She's got burst for days. SKT finally, in an extended fight, take down the enemy. The hook from Mata was the big one there. Scion, remember, goes into his own zombie form, then turns into a Lissandra, so there was no help there from the first kill, but getting the Xin Zhao gave them that extra oomph. Speaking of Oomph, we all started with the choo-choo train coming in from Sion. It almost feels like an age ago that the Rift Herald was picked up, but Rift Herald for 1 kill, we're like, yeah, maybe if it's used well. Rift Herald for this many kills, all advantages SKT.
You can see the Sion gets there first, but Khan actually gets the better angle on the LeBlanc. I mean, Mickey was all by himself on the backside, and Nocturne able to reposition himself, just gets the fight started in SKT's favor. And then from there, just a lot of fantastic plays. You know, the hook comes in here, Mata pays with his life, but it's just that snowball that gets going with the zombies and the good play in SKT's favor that win them the fight.
You just know there's something to chase when you have that Lissandra passive and just the kit that allows the reliability of those CCs coming in again and again. So I think it's well done by SKT on that particular front. They back away, the gold lead now ballooning 6,000 between the two teams. APK, credit to them. They're still looking to fight. They're still looking to make this one competitive. They're outnumbering at moment, but Khan's TP is up, and Faker a demolished prop away from taking down the outer bot lane turret, the last that stands.
They might set their sights on this Mountain Drake. Could certainly use that, but instead they're going to have to go mid and stop this Rift Herald first. 4, 5 members even of APK trying to get in here. Now they want to get on top of Faker. Klid able to get out of that one with the spell shield, but now he doesn't have anything else. Faker going and trying to burst down everybody. Nearly takes out Mickey on the backside. He's going to pay for it, but Mata's there in the backside. Can they get the LeBlanc? No, she will survive for now. Mata going to bring Kakao over the wall, but Secret nearly misses the hook there. Ursu now not tanky enough, it seems. He's going to be able to go down on the backside, and APK doesn't want any more of that fight.
It could have gone worse, though, for the side of APK. If Pyke was in position to reset, the reset city was looking pretty damn strong, but Pyke going over the wall had no ability to get back into the fight without sacrificing any resets. Here's Teddy, though, just assassinates on the back.
Teddy's like, hello, I guess I'll take this kill. Thank you very much. I have red buff now. They're looking for a lot more. Teddy over the wall. How much can he get alone, essentially? Mata coming in with him as well. And Khan up on the top side. This might just be an ace at the end of it all. Mata, though, nearly going to go down to the minions, it looks like, at the end of it all. Klid gonna be scared to go through the turret, but the rest of the fight, pretty good for SKT.
SKT styling and profiling. They're not even done. They want to get the Thresh. Can he finish his back? The answer is no. Wants a kill on Klid, not gonna get it. No Ignite to try to take him out. Teddy's gonna pick up this one as well. SKT's 17th kill comes at 21 minutes. Just alone as, come on Teddy, start him. All right, gets him down at 22 minutes. SKT alone have 17 kills. Altogether we have 28. These are the fiestas we live for, and I think SKT is going to give us plenty more in 2019 and even this 2018 KeSPA Cup.
This is the new meta, and if it stays this way, I'll be a happy play-by-play caster just shouting all the time about all of this stuff. SKT now, they get that Drake, but Ursu, he wants a little bit more. Khan gets low, but he's got that shield himself. He's going to pull him in, Fear Beyond Death. Here comes LeBlanc, though. Mickey, did he go a little bit too far?
1 by 1, baby!
In goes Nocturne. Can he take him out? Trying to look for him. There's the flash, and actually Teddy takes him out on the backside. Fury is going to be missed by the hook. And SKT will get a bonus 2 kills.
To say this game was falling apart in that last moment as everyone wants to get a front row seat to be a statistic in the SKT debut game would be an understatement. Some Blazing Saddle stuff. The movie fell apart, this game falling apart from an APK side, but I think at this point they're resigned that they're maybe too far behind to get back both into this best of 3 and this game. Consider this is 1v3 by Ursu, as LeBlanc is about 5 distortions away and doesn't have that many cooldowns to get in there. They can't even kill Khan, they turn on, and Hood says why not. The grenade, too late. Not sure about the timing of the mechanics from Fury. Stick with the bot lane, Ari in the bot lane. Kennen, how about another fight, Valdez? You go on with it.
Well, Faker's going to say no. He's like, well, you know, I have a Matthias to take care of here. I can't be too aggressive. But Teddy, he does not have that problem. He's getting in. Faker going to join as well. And see you later. Down will go Kakao once again. 4th time this game. It's just never-ending action, guys.
Will we see? The only question we can ask is more kills than minutes for SKT. I think the line is yes. Yes, definitely, maybe not, but yes, because we're at 20 and 23, and there's a couple of team fights left before this one goes into the history books. SKT around the Baron, they're going to start it up. APK, when can they get their first ward over? Mickey's definitely going to walk up. Does he have a control ward on him? Yeah, it looks like no.
Looks like they have a small amount of vision here. The TP is going to come in, so they're committing to try to get in here, but they're not going to get the steal. The Rockets come out again and don't do much. Once again, the flash away from Ursu. That's just going to be SKT comfortably taking the Baron.
And APK for the first time in a while say, all right, there's nothing to fight for. We will not initiate 1v4 against Baron. So they back away. SKT get what is probably The icing, and then it feels like a second layer of icing. This is a really weird carrot cake with 7 different types of icing on top of the carrot. As it is 12,000 gold and Infernal and matching Mountains with Baron buff against, 5 players who had a pretty cool history in the LCK.
Yeah, and, after this game, that's what they might just be known for. We'll have to see if they stick together in the Challenger Series all together as a team, but we know that one of these teams will absolutely be in that situation. Faker, you just use your Glacial Path. You're not in a great spot. He's going to have to ultimate to get away from this one, but gonna miss that silent ultimate. Also has the Zonius to stay away forever. He's actually out of there. Doesn't look like Klid has the same luck, though. Teddy's here to say differently, though. He's so fed right now. There's the knockup, though. Not able to get out. In goes Teddy. Look at that damage. It's unbelievable. Mata got to take him out as well. The other 3 just going to go home with their tail between their legs. Teddy is legendary.
We're still going, Valdez. We're not stopping.
Okay, double kill for Mata. Secret's all alone, and you guarantee that Teddy is going for that kill. That's what he was made for at this time. Oh, that missed. But Teddy is going to pick it up eventually, no doubt, unless Mata says, oh, I'm the young, I'm older, I'm going to pick up the kill. The rest of SKT pushing into the base.
Go back to that VOD stamp about 40 seconds ago and ask who is baiting who. Faker's next leveling. These skirmishes never stop. You thought there was going to be a disengage. I know you're guilty, Valdez. Well, guess what? We don't disengage in 2019 or this 2019 preview. It doesn't end the game, but now the gold lead's getting bigger. I don't know what the record is in gold lead. It's probably not going to hit it because this game will probably end on the next skirmish. 24 and 26 minutes right now. We are not quite kill a minute for SKT, but definitely kill a minute for the entire squad. 36 kills, 12 of those Magi stacks. He doesn't read the book quite as well as Showmaker, who hit 22. And now the line is 22, because can Faker fill up his book?
It's almost like that's his main goal in this entire thing. He was just waiting for that moment where it was acceptable in one way or another to get him a dice. He got it in game 1, says haha to Mickey, fills up a lot of those pages, but not enough. Now he does it again, even though his early game was weak in terms of kills. He's finally going to be able to read that book. Well, we're going to have a moment here to breathe.
Do you remember
when this?
I remember when the LCK was a thing. It was that artistic painting. You stare at it for a while. You write a thesis. You delete it a couple of times. We already talked about how you can't delete your teleports. Your messages to your crush. You have to ship them. Now we're just action movies, baby. There's definitely some strategy behind some of the level 1s, but
lots of explosions is what I'm seeing here in these games.
It feels like APK was the director that came in and said, this dialogue sucks. Screw dialogue. Let's fight more. And you know what? For the first round of the KeSPA Cup, you can't ask for anything else.
Speaking of which, well, it's going to be Sion saying, I fear myself, going back into the base. Teddy just looking to get legendary here. He's 7-0 and 13 assists. Not even sure how that's possible on a Lucian. Faker just harassing on the front side. They want another inhibitor.
They want 5 kills more than an inhibitor, Valdez.
Well, yeah. APK not going to give it to them. Not this time around.
Looking up here, looking for the way in, and Teddy just auto-attacking people's enough. That's supposed to be a tank, guys. I think it's supposed to be a tank.
Well, Ursu doesn't have much anymore. He's going to go down. Khan nearly getting chunked out. Klid's going real deep for that LeBlanc. Kakao. Klid going to be hooked up in the end, but Kakao able to dash away, but in goes Teddy. He wants that double shot, and there he is. Looking for more.
There's something to go in the Nexus here.
He's going to get the Thresh in the end.
Oh,
guys. Oh, okay. Gets the one, but immediately gets blown up. Faker, he wants to kill. Can Teddy get it? No, he can't.
Oh, he lives.
In the end, he actually lives on the end, but the Nexus doesn't live. But our hopes for SKT are well alive. 2-0, 2 super aggressive games. What a fun series to catch.
Those Frozen Thralls do not respect the Fountain Laser. They go straight through it, and the other Fountain Laser in Teddy is front row for SKT, taking down their opponents, APK Prince, in a very entertaining 2-0. That was the debut people wanted to see, Valdez. They wanted to see that SKT could be an early game team, that they could take their roster in a different direction and be assertive. They have watched, and honestly, this SKT faithful have endured an insanely disappointing year by their standards and not even necessarily enjoyed the League of Legends their team played along the way. This is the new way, and while it will not necessarily rip through teams as easy as it did, the hot knife through butter may meet its match at a different level. It did not today, and all I will say about SKT is the same thing I said when the roster was announced. When this team dominates, they will 100% for certain dominate in style.
That they will. I mean, just the Lucian, you can tell why it's banned too, but the way that Teddy plays it is unbelievable. Not to mention just every other strength. It's so weird to see Mata on this team because I wasn't used to seeing that kind of support that was leading the charge, getting the hooks, being the first one into the fight as the Pyke, and always doing that kind of crazy engage. But Mata, that's the type of guy he has, and everybody following up. Even Khan's Urgot for the 2 games looked impressive. I'm just a happy caster right now.
And I'm going to get greedy and say, I want to know the other side. I want to be scientific and say, does this same SKT have the same medal, have the same clutch factor from behind? Because KT Rolster and the Super Team looked pretty damn good when they were styling, but of course, found out they had growing pains that weren't always punished. That part is a later story. First round of the KeSPA Cup in general compared to LCK, we're much further away. We got no Worlds implications with this tournament. But again, for the glass half full, the style they can play with is something pretty unique to the array of talent they put together. The highlight reel might as well just be the whole VOD. How do you condense anything?
I know.
It was just action.
Highlight guy had a lot of work to put in for this game, but it was just fun fight after fun fight. The Heimerdinger, honestly not able to do too much. Nocturne after level 6 had the good gank up on the top side, but then was able to go bot side a couple times. Nice read by APK this time around, but it wasn't enough to bring them back into the game. Mata showing off with style how to continue the fight in these games.
What I'll say about APK is, you know, it's a lot of proud players who come in, and they probably weren't expecting a victory here. They were hoping to get some confidence, hoping to find something together for the future. I don't think this was just a complete shellacking of a best of 3. They had good moments, and obviously they were against what we're predicting to be a top 3 team in Korea. So I wonder, I would love to see APK with a full off season, with some time. This could be definitely a team that gets into challenges promotions, and get into LCK summer promotions, but are they a team that's going to be contesting top 5? The answer is most likely no. Are their best days behind them? I think we should give them benefit of the doubt and say maybe there still is a new height for some of these players as a 5. We don't know. As the 5 of SKT, and will this be the 5 that goes forward for SKT? We don't know the answer to that question either, but we had a lot of fun on this kind of voyage of discovery that we got today.
Yeah, and I'm sure we'll get a lot more of SKT in the later rounds of the KeSPA Cup 2018 as well. So make sure you guys are continuing to watch this tournament. Should be a lot of fun stuff with a lot of other big LCK names that are going to be fighting in the round of 8 in the future of this tournament. So going to be a lot of fun as we move along here. But to move along, we are going to have an interview with one lucky SKT player.
It's going to be Faker, isn't it? It's Faker. How surprising.
How did you know that, Papa?
I'm just ahead of the game.
리빌드 후 첫 공식전을 치르셨습니다. 승리한 소감이 어떠세요?
After rebuilding and having your first official match, how do you feel about the victory? We have a mindset to win the KeSPA Cup no matter what, so I'm really satisfied that we started off really strong. From now on, I think we're going to show only strong performances.
모두 완벽한 승리였지만 페이커 선수 개인으로는 좀 힘든 경기가 아니었나 싶어요. 초반에 1, 2세트 모두 너무나 미드 견제를 많이 당해서 스스로는 좀 실제로 전사도 좀
So Faker, personally, yourself, they were ganking you so much. It was hard on an individual level. So how do you feel about that they were putting so much pressure on you? Honestly, I couldn't really hear the game sounds well, so I couldn't respond quick enough.
Bit of shade there from Faker.
이런 난전 상황 속에서 오늘 같은 경우에는 어떤 선수들이 좀 주도적으로 오더를 했는지도 궁금하거든요.
So a lot of people in this, these 10 players, so many people have so much experience on this SKT lineup. Who's the shot caller? Everybody kind of has something to say. So we don't have one main shot caller. It's more of a team effort in terms of a shot calling. We all just kind of play together.
The diplomatic approach for now.
Many players on your team have very strong characters, including yourself. So, but as the games went along, it seems like you guys are very close and that you're working well together, even with those strong personalities.
일단 다들 말이 많아가지고 좀 연습실 분위기가 많이 바뀌긴 했는데.
So if there's one player you had to pick, who annoys your ears the most? Who's speaking in your ear a little bit too much?
다 비슷한 것 같아요.
비슷해요.
So
네네네.
everybody talks a lot.
많이 친해진 것 같아요.
Feels like it's more of like a friendly mood, but he doesn't want to pick one person out, even though Hyungyoung trying to pressure him there. He's like, no, you know, everybody's kind of just talking a lot
팀원들이랑은 다 친하게 지내고 있어요.
on the same level.
특별히 두 선수와 더 친하다 이런 느낌보다는
Since I personally think that I have a close relationship with every single player on my team.
Good sign.
That's good. It says I don't have a particular player on the team that I am super close with compared to the other players.
팬들에게도 한마디 부탁드릴게요.
Very diplomatic is Faker.
많은 분들이 경기 지켜봐 주셨을 것 같은데 감사드립니다.
So fans in and outside of Korea,
보여드리도록 하겠습니다.
any words to them?
오늘 승리 다시 한번 축하드립니다.
Says thank you so much for supporting us, and from now on, I will continue showing only the best performances that are known from me as Faker and from SKT.
Well, you know, they started off on the right foot, you could definitely say, for SKT. Felt like new meta, felt like action, felt like a light at the end of the tunnel of the suffering that SKT fans went through in 2018. 7th place in LCK Summer, no more. Suddenly thrust into the limelight with so many great players joining the most storied organization in Korean esports. Faker himself walks past us, nods to a couple of fans, seems pretty happy, job done. Actually, between games, after the Game 1 victory, so I'm getting some selfies with fans trying to go to the bathroom. It's a different environment here compared to all the rules and the prim and proper of the LCK. SK Telecom T1 will face the winner of tomorrow's only game. So guys, join us tomorrow at 5 p.m. It's a bit of a Western connection to this one. BBQ Olivers, most recently relegated from the LCK against the ES Sharks. BBQ Olivers, most well known for their coach right now, of course, LS, former LCK caster, is one of their coaches next to Mark Noon, former LCK player. That's a really cool connection. And the first ever imported player in Korean League of Legends, their jungler Malice, coming over from Sweden, should be playing. He's the only listed jungler as far as I know, so there's a lot to look forward to in tomorrow's game.
It's going to be fun too because we're going to have our round of 8 rounded up, if you will. We're going to know who's playing SKT next. Is it the BBQ lineup with the Western connection, or is it the ES Sharks? You know, I think a lot of people are kind of on that SKT hype train, but you never know. And then we'll get to see all the other LCK top teams also play in the round of 8.
I'm going to tell you about a Christmas present I got you.
Tell me.
SKT's playing on Christmas Day.
There you go. So, guys, you don't want to miss that Christmas Day here in Korea. They'll be playing once again. But thank you once again for watching us. It's been a fun day of games. We'll see you tomorrow for more KeSPA Cup.
I'm like the brother of the prodigal.